Hello there. Thank you for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. President Biden's handling of the U.S. pullout from Afghanistan finds Congressman Adrian Smith of Nebraska skeptical of the administration's response to the recent killings of 3 American soldiers in the Mideast. The president said he's decided what he'll do but hasn't released any details yet. Our Joe Jordan spoke with Congressman Smith about that response, as well as the ongoing crisis at the southern border.
The president said he would do the pullout of Afghanistan exactly the same way, and that's not what the American people wanted to hear.
You said you want to see the administration make an appropriate response. What do you think that appropriate response is?
Well, I would hesitate to say at this point, but to have things like this ultimately go unanswered, I think is very problematic. There has been such skepticism of the administration ever since the disastrous pullout from Afghanistan.
Regarding the border, President Biden has said, okay, his deal, and he'll shut the border, close the border down immediately. Isn't that what you want?
Well, I would like to see the president take action at the border. What is not getting the discussion that it should be getting right now is how much authority President Biden already has to tighten the border.
In other news, in just over a week, individual girls state wrestling champions will be crowned for just the 3rd time ever in Nebraska. This, as the first ever girls dual championships were just held last week in Pierce. But a school administrator in a different Pierce County town is being taken to the mat over comments he made that are shining a spotlight on the sport for the wrong reasons. A Northeast Nebraska administrator is walking back comments he made about girls wrestling after a social media post drew strong pushback. In a now deleted post on X, Plainview Superintendent Dr. Darren Arlt shared some not so positive thoughts on girls wrestling in Nebraska, saying it's not ready for prime time. His reasoning? Arlt said he's seen too many tears, calls for ice packs, and drama in the fledgling sport, now in its 3rd official year. Well, the post drew immediate and strong reactions and was taken down, replaced by multiple conciliatory notes, with Arlt saying he spoke with girls wrestling coaches and regrets his words, even posing for a photo op with Plainview's girls wrestling team. It's a teachable moment for a school administrator, but now the district is wrestling over what to do next. Plainview School Board has called for a special emergency meeting Friday evening with just one agenda item, a closed session to discuss the performance of their superintendent. For News Channel Nebraska, I'm Eric McKay. Arlt's comments came as the Plainview girls wrestling team clinched their first ever conference championship Wednesday. Kenzie Mosel clinched the school's first individual Lewis and Clark conference title. You can get much more on this story, including Arlt's full comments and apology, at newschannelnebraska.com. Well, after years of strain on American budgets, some economists say the Federal Reserve is making them optimistic. Meanwhile, the tax break package moving through Congress with fairly strong bipartisan support. Amy Kiley has more on what the latest economic news might mean for you.
This is a surprise to me, and it is a delightful surprise.
Some economists think Americans are in for a personal budget boost. The Federal Reserve is signaling it could cut interest rates in the near future. That's after months of hikes and yesterday's vote to hold steady.
We're looking at continuation of the good data that we've been seeing.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell says the board is feeling confident about inflation, but not too confident.
He's the Fed chair. He needs to be super duper careful. I only need to be somewhat careful, and so I'm going to say we've had a soft landing.
That means reducing the rate of inflation without triggering a recession.
Now, the question is, how close to that target, to that 2% rate, do we really need to get before the Fed feels comfortable cutting rates?
Powell says cuts probably won't start until after March, but rates on some loans are starting to come down already.
We've already seen mortgage rates come down a little bit in anticipation of those coming cuts.
Meanwhile, a $78 billion tax bill is heading to the Senate after clearing the House last night. It would expand the child tax credit and revive some expired corporate benefits. The bill has fairly strong bipartisan support. That has some analysts feeling confident about its chances, but not too confident. I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Closer to home, an Elks Lodge in southeast Nebraska raising money to support veterans. Kyle Mathis has more.
The Fairbury Elks Club hosted a Bunko at the Elks event Wednesday focused on playing games but helping a good cause. Attendees were asked to make a minimum donation of $5 to support the making of the post-surgery pillows for Veterans Project. It was a fun time for attendees playing a fun game while supporting local veterans in the process.
A Bunko is a dice game. They roll the dice 3 times and they count the scores, and it's just a fun game that doesn't take a lot of concentration. But we decided to have it on the 5th Wednesday of the month so that people can kind of remember what night it's on.
The pillows strap around the chest and can be used for holding a phone, a remote, and even underneath a seatbelt to make it more comfortable.
Pillows are an idea that came about from a friend of my daughter's who had a double mastectomy, and we got the pattern and I modified it a little bit. It has pockets on the front for cell phone and remote control for the TV because they're not supposed to be reaching when they've had thoracic surgery or chest surgery.
Kluge and the Elks Club has a goal to make 50 pillows this year to turn into the Veterans Hospital and keep some locally as well to be used by Jefferson Community Health and Life.
It's for a good cause. The veterans are rather overlooked, and our organization was founded to help assist veterans, their wives, and their children when the veterans were overseas fighting.
This is not the only thing the Elks Club does. The Elks Club says their goal is to help people. According to Kluge, the local lodge has contributed $3.6 million to the community since it started in 1919, $26,000 last year alone. They are not done either. They will have another event aimed to support the community on Leap Day, February 29th. Reporting for News Channel Nebraska, I'm Kyle Mathis.
Big Pharma and the government will begin to haggle over the prices of some of the costliest drugs for millions of older adults. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Service will present an opening offer to drug makers Thursday on each of the prices of 10 medications. Those include drugs used to treat heart disease, certain cancers, along with diabetes, autoimmune diseases, and other conditions. It's mandated by the Inflation Reduction Act and marks the first time that Medicare has been able to negotiate with drug manufacturers for prices. Those negotiations are set to last through August 1st. The final prices will be announced in September, but won't go into effect until 2026. Now, pharmaceutical companies are pushing back. They call the negotiations unconstitutional. The Biden administration has been facing several lawsuits over the program. The Federal Communications Commission says it wants to make robocalls generated by artificial intelligence illegal. The FCC said in a news release Wednesday there's been a rise in few years, so the agency has proposed the Telephone Consumer Protection Act include voice cloning technology used in common robocall scams targeting consumers. The FCC's announcement comes after a robocall with an AI voice resembling President Joe Biden recently targeted thousands of New Hampshire voters. The FCC said in the release, AI technology now has the potential to confuse consumers with misinformation by imitating voices of celebrities, political candidates, even family members. The News Channel Nebraska radio station picked up a big award in its Community Wednesday. Michael Shively tells us how the station plans to keep building on its success.
A business with more than 80 years in Hastings is being recognized for its work in the community. At its annual banquet Wednesday, the Hastings Area Chamber of Commerce awarded KHS Radio with its Business of the Year award for businesses with 25 or fewer employees. The chamber selected KHAS because of its community service, sound business practices, and significant impacts to the local economy.
We love this community, we love Hastings, and we love partnering with the people and the businesses here in this community.
KHAS started in Hastings in 1940 and has been on the air delivering news, sports, and entertainment ever since. General Manager Sherry Foster has been at the station for the last 25 years.
It's very emotional to know that 83 years ago, KHS Radio went on the air, and then for all of us that get to serve today and carry that legacy on it's quite an honor.
2023 was a year of big changes for the Hastings institution. KHAS moved to the Burlington Center building in the middle of town, launched a new morning show with Brandon J. McDermott, and debuted a new Christmas music format. McDermott even added some radio show flair to Wednesday's banquet.
All of you are in on a little secret that nobody outside of this room, nobody outside of these walls will know. We're going to do a contest, a secret contest.
Station employees say they're determined to live up to the award's merits.
We're going to spend every single day of 2024 earning this award. On behalf of all of us, thank you so much.
In Hastings, Michael Shively, News Channel, Nebraska.
Well, an annual farm show back this year, Wednesday. The goal, raising funds for scholarships. Jake Bartecki has more.
Over 40 agricultural businesses descended on the Saline Center in southeast Nebraska on Wednesday. The Wilber-Clatonia FFA alumni and booster organization put on the annual Southeast Nebraska Farm Show.
Wilber-Clatonia FFA alumni puts on the farm show to raise funds for scholarships and help the chapter out with equipment, getting to a contest, national convention, everything that the chapter does throughout the year.
While proceeds from the show go to a good cause, Wilber-Clatonia FFA advisor Kara Holtorf says it also provides an opportunity for the more than 36 vendors to share knowledge and expertise while also promoting their products.
They get to come, talk to our area agriculturalists, sell their products, their services to people in our area. We have people from North Central Kansas, all of southeast Nebraska, so there's a broad range of agricultural businesses here and clients that would like to buy those products and services.
Holtorf also explained the terms for students to receive the scholarship from which proceeds from the farm show are distributed.
The students have to be in the FFA for 4 years to be eligible for those scholarships, and then the alumni awards that scholarship at our FFA banquet at the end of the year. So many seniors will get a scholarship for their further studies at the end of this year at our banquet.
In Western, Jake Bartecki, News Channel, Nebraska.
Staying in ag news, a Northeast Nebraska native is at the helm of the first FFA program at her high school. Aurora Erweiler is a native of Laurel and has always loved two things, teaching and agriculture. And now she's an ag and technical teacher at Wynot High School, leading the school's first ever FFA program. Erweiler says she was at a 5K event when she heard about the tech and ag program at the school.
The proceeds were going to the Ag and Industrial Tech program, and I knew they didn't have one, so then I reached out to the superintendent here at school, Paul Hands, and the rest is history, and here we are.
The first-year FFA program competed in their first competition in January. The junior team placed 10th, the senior team 15th. The team has another competition in February. Erweiler says she's excited to see where the program will go. A Northeast Nebraska library and brewery are teaming up for a new brew. The Late Fee Lager, the newest concoction by Divots Brewery in Norfolk to celebrate the launch of the new drink. Divots is giving $1 to every lager sold to the Norfolk Public Library. The library says those donations will be used to help pay readers' late fees. The launch party for the new brew, February 8th at 5 p.m. at the Divots Brewery. And finally, Kearney Public Schools knows how to celebrate accomplishments. On Wednesday at Park Elementary, that meant a school assembly with teachers blasting confetti cannons. The colorful ceremony in recognition of the school being listed by U.S. News & World Report in the top 10% of all elementary schools in Nebraska. District officials say that accomplishment is a team effort.
I think we have some of the most hardworking staff you will find in the state. They are dedicated. They come every day ready to teach our students. We've got great students. They're hardworking. They're engaged. They do their best. They know the importance of learning, and that comes from their families.
Park's not alone in the honor. 4 other KPS elementary schools and 2 middle schools ranked in the top 10% of the state. That ranking focuses on state assessments of students who were proficient or above proficient in math and reading and accounts for student backgrounds and achievement in core subjects. You can find much more in terms of headlines and the latest weather by visiting us online at newschannelnebraska.com. Thank you so much for joining us. My name's Eric McKay. You've been watching News Channel Nebraska. Have a great day.